Priorities.
I have to call the meeting to order. Mr. Gage, please lead us in the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone.
Homeowners Association deal?
Yeah.
First item on the agenda is to approve our agenda.
Move.
Motion by Weiss, second by Gage. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries. This time we'll open the meeting up for any public comments. Anyone wish to address the commission this morning? Good morning, Mr. Pfeiffer.
Good morning. I'm not gonna take very much of your time. I guess I just wanna thank you guys for hanging in there on this, Summit Carbon Solutions pipeline issue, and then, encourage you to, at least if you don't intervene into the docket on this, second request for a permit, at the very least, make some comments. I mean, draft a letter or two or whatever, get it to the PUC so that, you can at least express the concern about taking away what 201 would have done, which would have taken away local control, and just the fact that you know, if it wouldn't have been for the fact that Spink, Brown, and McPherson counties actually dug in and did setbacks, who knows where it would be today, because the PUC paid attention to that. I mean, they responded to that, and that's exactly what Summit has attempted to do, is to take that very thing away from the counties, and which you guys all know. I mean, and so anyway, just wanted to stop and say thanks, and at the very least, if you don't intervene, and I would encourage that, but if you don't intervene, at least draft some letters, even individually, draft letters, get them out there, flood the PUC with how you feel about it and what needs to be done.
Sure.
And so, with that, appreciate it.
All right.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Dennis. Anyone else wish to address the commission this morning on any topic that isn't on the agenda? Online, on the phone? Seeing none, we will move on. Next up, Rachel Kipley with a few items. Good morning.
Good morning, guys.
Good morning.
I think we have, what first, this Richmond? Yep. Notice is hereby given that sealed proposals will be open for consideration at 8:45 a.m. on Tuesday, December 3rd, 2024, at the Brown County Commission Chamber Annex for hay cutting on county land, approximately 21 acres at Richmond Lake Youth Camp, with a legal description with a minimum bid of $30 per acre. 2 additional one-year options in 26 and 27 may be exercised at the discretion of Brown County Commission, provided written notice is received at the Brown County Auditor's Office by November 1st, the year preceding the option. Looks like we got 3 envelopes. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Just gonna make enough of these envelopes. For Richmond Youth Camp, 21 acres, $52 per acre for $1,092 is what their total is. This is it Don Diesel? I, Dustin Bitts, am writing this for proposal consideration, 21 acres. My offer is $62.50 per acre for a total of $1,312.50 on 21 acres. And third.
Better.
I, Don Schumacher, would like to bid $40 per acre for the hayland at Richmond Lake. Yeah, 62, 50, 40, and 52. Do you want to do them separate? Do you want me to open the other hayland first? Separate. Okay. So I guess I would recommend the high bid.
Second. I'm sorry.
I did.
Okay, motion by Weiss, second by Denner, to accept the Bitts bid for $62.50 per acre. All in
And
favor?
it's, think this name is, it's either Ron or Don Giesel. I can't really,
Is it down in Greece?
Grease? Okay.
He lives out that way, so
Okay.
I don't know for sure, but I would think
He's got
that.
his phone number and stuff, so we'll make sure that.
Good, Dave, we appreciate it.
All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries.
And fairgrounds, fairgrounds. Same stuff, notice hereby given, da-da-da-da. This one, minimum $60 per acre, 2 additional one-year options for 26, 27, to be open today. 2 bids on that.
How many acres is that one?
What's that?
How many acres is that one?
22.
22, okay.
And with the potential of putting a couple gravel roads and stuff in there, we will put in the contract that we'll make it right or reduce it, helping, if Scott Bader and Scott Madsen would help us with some acreage, there's calculations there
Okay.
to make it right with them.
What do you got against mud?
Yeah, right? I just don't eat it, it's so weird.
Just last year, right?
Hay cutting, Brown County Fairgrounds, I will bid per acre $103.50. Same gentleman, Don Greasy. And the second bid, Don Schumacher would bid $80 an acre. There again, I guess I would just recommend high bid.
Move.
Second.
Motion by Feldheim, second by Weiss. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries.
Thank you. Then we'll move on to Clubhouse. Proposal. Notice is hereby given that sealed proposals will be open for consideration at 8:45 on Tuesday, December 3rd, 2024, at the Brown County Commission Chambers, Courthouse Annex, for operation of the Brown County Fair Clubhouse, AKA Beer Gardens, during the week of the Brown County Fair for years 25, 26, and 27. One envelope in there. And it is from Aberdeen Hockey Association. We have a letter with it, and then we had a sample contract similar to what we've done in the past, where they could either bid a bulk amount or per case, and it looks like we have quantity invoice cases of beer at $15 per case is what they would pay, and 30% of the gross sales of the pop, soft drinks, and water. AHA would also pay the board the following commission on the gross receipts of all, excluding malt beverage, soft drinks, and water, which were the above numbers. 15% on sales up to $15,000 and 30% on $15,000 and up. And Duke is here, I think. If you guys have questions on the proposal.
Pretty similar to what we've had.
Grandstand and Centennial, we had bumped, they're both at 20 per case, not 15. And if you remember, 3 years ago when we did it, we said it was gonna be either the per case, or we started at 6,000 per year, whichever's higher, to try to incentivize and get more money out of that particular, real estate during Fair Week. And then we bumped it to 6,500 or the per case, and then we went to 7. So, we last year got to 7, because that's been, according to their records, more than what the per case would have been. So I guess I'd like to read through some of the verbiage and stuff that they have, so I guess I'd recommend deferring it so that we can get a board recommendation and then bring it back to you.
That's fine.
Okay.
Entertain a motion for that.
Move to defer.
Motion by Feldheim.
Second.
Second by Weiss. Further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries.
Thank you, guys. Cyber ticket sales are going, so make sure you get the word out. $10 off 3- and 4-day packages.
Very good.
I'm gonna hang around for exec if you guys would have time for contractual, or
Okay.
are you guys crazy busy? I can
Nope.
wait too.
That's all right.
We're
Okay,
good.
thank you.
Thank you. All right, next up, Mike Scott, landfill manager. And Mike Reidinger, with some contracts.
Yep. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
I think we got a bid opening to start with.
Solid waste collection services.
Here, I can.
Morning, Ted.
Good morning.
Harrison? Morning.
Thank you. All right, this bid opening for our solid waste and yard waste hauling from our rural container site, so.
So we have one, the advertisement, right? So one bid from Dependable Sanitation, Inc. Cashier's check. For bid survey. So for container unit cost, 200. With, at 90 containers, that's 18,000 for monthly cost, and 216,000 for an annual cost. We'll check his math, but $200 per 6-yard container. The mile rate is $2 per mile. The mileage cost monthly, about 8,000 a year, which is 6,667 miles per month, ends up being about $13,333.33, with an annual cost for mileage of $160,000. Total monthly costs, including the containers and the mileage, is $31,333.33 for a total annual mileage and container costs of $376,000. Extra stop fee for the fire station, $100. Extra stop fee for the fairgrounds location, $150. That was for solid waste. For yard waste, the per unit cost is $150, with a total estimated annual cost of $75,000, for a grand total for solid and yard waste combined of $451,000. Questions?
What is the term of this bid? 5 years? 5, okay.
5 years effective of, I think it's March 15th.
2025.
Correct.
Yep.
5 years, okay. Any questions, comments, recommendations?
Kind of
I think we'll-
expected,
Yeah, it was. I think we'll just defer so we can just double check, make sure
Okay.
everything's correct.
Okay, motion
Moved.
by Weiss,
Second.
second by Denner to defer the decision. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries.
Thanks, Mike.
Thank you. Thanks, Mike.
soon get Mike to buy a truck and do it himself.
My CDL is expired.
We appreciate the,
I didn't really wanna do it because I'm getting too old.
you wanna come back today or a different time with us?
I can do it off my phone.
We'll just drop back, we'll just come back.
All right.
Okay. All right,
All right.
moving on.
Thanks, Mike.
Yeah.
Next up,
Sit up here.
You can hang if you want, Mike, if you got time. We're gonna defer, but we're gonna pick it back up here after we run the numbers quick, just to verify.
Okay, yeah,
If you'd
okay.
like, you can stay. Thank you.
Nice and warm here, so.
There you go.
Oh, you
Morning,
wanted
Ted.
it up.
Good morning, Ted Dickey with Northeast Council of Governments. I'm here with Mike Scott, landfill manager, and Lee Bredinger with Helms and Associates. We've got a couple of resolutions we'd like to pass this morning. The first one is, the compactor. Brown County will be applying for a solid waste management grant for a new compactor. It's the specs that we've seen for an estimate are $1,068,611.10. We're going to be applying for 50% of total project cost, which is $534,305.55. The application is due to the state at the end of January, and they make their decision at the last Thursday in March. So that's when we will know what the actual cost Brown County will receive in the form of a grant on that. With the application, we need a resolution passed that authorizes the chair to sign the application and also authorizes them as a signatory for all other related documents, including the application and pay requests.
So moved.
all right, motion by Weiss,
Second.
second by Gage to authorize chairman to sign resolution number 68-24. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries.
And just to clarify, the funds that they use for those grants are basically funds that they collect from ours and other solid waste facilities throughout the state.
I believe so, yes.
$1 per ton.
The second application today is for construction of a new cell, again, through the Solid Waste Management Program. Again, application is due at the end of by 1st of January, and they will make a decision at the end of March for that one as well. Total project cost has been estimated at $3,718,455. Again, we're applying for 50% of that, or $1,859,227.50. This is cell number 5, I believe.
Correct.
And so, we again have a resolution that not only authorizes the chair to sign the application, but all subsequent documents, including pay requests.
Move.
Motion by Weiss,
Second.
second by Feldheim. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries.
And this cell construction project is somewhat dependent on funds also, but we do have 3 years to use this grant. So
Okay.
we're just trying to get ahead of the game. You know, what are we looking at least in probably 2 years, probably cell construction?
Yeah, I mean, we'd probably, if the commission moves forward with design, it would be 25 we do design, 26 construct, potentially 27 construct, kind of depending on where funds are at and where Mike's at for waste and volume out there.
Sure.
Sneaking up on it.
Yeah. There is approximately, I think we ran the numbers, I haven't done 24s yet, but for 2023, if I use the 2023's numbers for this year, we had like 4.8 years left, but that's on a volume that goes to a point, which you can't build it like that, so probably 4 years potentially in that, but it's those last 4 years are tough, and so that's
And plus, you gotta look at a year construction.
Sure, sure.
So,
Design,
you-
approval,
I mean,
and funding.
It just, it comes quick.
Yep.
So you can't get behind on that, so,
As long as we don't exceed the FAA's height requirements. Nope, we appreciate being conscientious to stay ahead of the game here instead of us getting caught short on this deal, and the foresight to have the property to be able to do these expansions.
And like I said, the biggest thing will be funds. I mean,
So, start early.
so we're there. And
All right, we appreciate our partnership with
Resolutions and-
all you guys too, so. Carry on.
Hope people
Thanks, Ed.
keep generating garbage.
Doesn't end.
Yep. You go ahead and peek back in when you run those numbers.
Yeah, so numbers are checked for the bid on the solid waste hauling contract and yard waste.
Motion to approve.
Okay, motion by Weiss,
Second.
second by Dinner to approve the, solid waste collection services contract. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries.
Chasing inflation rates.
Yeah. Thanks again, Mike.
Should have doubled it.
Thanks for holding back.
Yeah, appreciate it.
You're a good partner, we appreciate you.
Thank you. We got a new truck coming January. The one we bought 4 years ago to do this route is already
Done.
in Watertown to get the new engine put together.
They get used up.
Yeah,
Just 300-some thousand miles, it was amazing.
Yep.
yeah.
We're just hoping it's done by Christmas time, right, Mike?
But the new truck is about $420,000 just for a truck.
Wow.
Yep.
Yeah, it's going nuts.
Yeah.
We appreciate
All right.
it. Thank
Thanks,
you.
Mike.
Thanks.
Next up, approve and authorize chairman to sign Helms and Associates. Oh, no, we just did that. No, we haven't.
No,
We haven't. It's all number 5 engineering agreement. See, I thought I just read that one, but let's do it.
They all
And
go
the
hand in
engineering agreement
hand.
will have to come so we can get this, the design, we're changing the configuration somewhat on how the cells are laid out. We'll have a second wastewater leachate pumping system set up in this next design. I just couldn't see having one lift station for the next 100 years.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it isn't gonna happen.
Yep.
Yeah.
Lee can explain that a little bit more, but we're just gonna tip the floor a little bit and get things reconfigured as how that wastewater flows at the bottom of that cell.
Yeah, so it's kind of all your eggs in one basket. Theoretically, it should work, but we've had some struggles with the lift station in the past with pumps and stuff, so me and Mike have talked about it for quite a few years now, that when we get to a cell 5, we change our floor elevations a little bit and start grabbing water from another location. They'll kind of work as backups to each other too. One goes down, it'll back up into the other lift station, that way we have some redundancy there. We don't want to get too much head pressure down low. If that one goes, then we're trying to dig through waste to get to it, and that's really expensive. So,
How many cells do we have room for in our current location?
12.
12, okay.
yeah, 12 cells, with 1 through 4 have been installed, permitted for waste. The remaining 8 haven't been, installed yet. Look at number 5. I think last year we had around 80 years left,
Correct.
depending on waste streams, of course. That changes. When 3M was sending a lot of waste during 2020, COVID, that changed quite. We lost probably a year there,
Sure.
no doubt.
You're counting the land to the east in that 12 number, correct?
Nope,
That's
that's
just
all
the
just
current
right
location.
Yeah,
at our
so-
current location.
The current
Just on
location,
the west
yeah.
side of the road?
Yep. We consider that Unit 2, and Unit 2 is permitted for waste. We have to do the cell design and construction, but that whole area is permitted for solid waste.
Okay.
The quarter to the east has not been, that hydrological assessment has not
Has
been
not
done on
been
that
done.
yet.
Okay.
You'll have to deal with that later.
Yeah, later.
In 80 years?
Yeah. All right.
Any questions on the engineering agreement? It's pretty standard. I think it's probably the same one for the last 4 cells. Lump sum design and bidding, and then it's hourly construction.
Motion to approve.
All right, motion by Weiss,
Second.
second by Feldheim to authorize chair to sign the Helms and Associates cell number 5 engineering agreement. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Thank you, gentlemen.
All right. That's all we got.
Thank you.
That's enough.
That's
Yeah.
enough. It's a lot of lot of revenue and a lot of expense that
Yeah.
needs to take place, so.
It's necessary service, better off having our control of our own destiny.
That's right.
At least we're able to generate some revenue.
That's right, and
That's good.
we've got control of that.
You bet.
Do a good
All
job,
right,
keep it up.
thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah, it's amazing how construction costs are just go up.
Everything.
Yeah, everywhere.
It was
Good morning.
Hi. Next up, Dirk Rogers, Highway Superintendent. Morning, Dirk.
How are you guys?
Good.
We got two things today. First off, I want to say thanks to Lynn, because I sort of checked out for a few days, and thanks to her, this train stayed on the tracks and she got this stuff in front of you, so, I appreciate that, Lynn. There's two things here. One is, advertisement. We'll do that first. I'd like to recommend that we set up an advertisement. Lynn's got the dates figured out. And what we ended up on the 31st will be the actual day that it's bid, and it's for the paving project in the northeast part of the county up there. It's about 21 miles, and I don't know, I'm hoping it's $3.5 million or less, but we'll see what happens. So, if we can do that, that'd be great.
Need a
All
motion?
right, need a motion to that effect?
Move.
Motion by Weiss, second by Gage, to authorize advertising. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries.
You guys are laughing at me. I wasn't kissing ass. I was being serious.
Oh, no, not you. We would never.
We appreciate her too.
Yes. Okay, I'm gonna go in the weeds a little bit on this agreement, just give you a little history. This other thing is a border, agreement between us and Dickey County. Now, relative to the counties in South Dakota on our border bridges, which our main ones are on Spink County line, I don't think, other than that little melee we're messing with on the north end of Mina where the culverts are, and we're doing that through the RAVE program with the township, I don't think there's anything else that's on the west line that we share. Day County, it's weird, they're actually specific agreements. So, for some reason, and there's an agreement, and I haven't read it for 20 years, so I can't remember why, but like the outflow from Amsden, the bridge over the outflow of Amsden is a Day County bridge. But if you go north of there, the next one is a Brown County bridge, and if you go north of there, the next one's a Day County bridge. It's just how it is, and I'm sure there was a good reason in the day. So, in South Dakota, our agreements are pretty well defined, and it's weird enough, with Day County, we split the costs. Spink County, you pay for what's on your side, which will work until this James River Bridge needs to get replaced, which is on Spink County side. And we don't have any real agreements on the west side. On the north side, it's been 50-50 forever. I went back and looked at these four structures to see when they were last replaced. And then I also called the state to go, okay, so I've been kind of around this for 25 years and we've never done this before. So what's our old agreement say? What's our current agreement say? Well, no one can find the current agreement.
What do you want it to say?
Right, so what the origin of this comes from a change in the rules at the federal level with how they're doing the bridge program. And it's just more data and a little bit different way of doing things, and one of the requirements is that we have an agreement on these shared bridges on the state lines. We're gonna repeat this exact same thing probably in the next couple of months, because the South Dakota DOT, I'm assuming, is gonna send us the exact same thing and want a copy of our agreement with the border county. So they're satisfying their thing. Just a quick little bit about these structures we're talking about. You guys don't have to move, but there's four of them. Two of them are these two arms that come into the elm. These were replaced in 2001. I was the superintendent then. I remember when we did them. We paid for half. Dickey County ran the whole project. It basically was KLJ out of Valley City managed it, but that was all, and it just all went through the bridge program, which I'm assuming that's where these will go. None of them are anywhere near gonna need to be replaced. But eventually, especially the one over here on the gym, I mean, that's gonna be $8 to $10 million by the time it comes around time to replace it. So that'll have to go through a bridge program. But anyway, these two were replaced in 2001. The one over the Maple here, which is just over from Hokenes Farm, if you know a feedlot up there, if you know where that's at, that one was replaced in '85, and that one too was a 50-50 project. It looks like all of them were run through the federal bridge program, and then, like, depending on what the status of the program was, whether it was 25% match or 20 match, you know, then the county split. So that was split then between the two counties, whatever the match was. Federal government paid for most of them. That's the Maple, and then the gym was replaced in 1974, which is amazing because it's still a 93 sufficiency, and it's 50 years old. I don't know what these others are because they're on the Dickey County inspection system, but I'm guessing that one's probably as good as any of the four up there. So it also says a little bit about how we built things in 1974 versus how we built them in 2001 as well.
I was just gonna say, can we get that company to build
To build another one. So, now, as far as, yeah, we'll get there. As far as the actual documents, cool, and the agreement part's fine with the exception of the inspection. Do you guys have a copy of this?
It's in the packet, yeah.
So there's a list, a little chart on there. The ownership's 50-50, and the maintenance is 50-50. Not a shot at Dickey County, we have more capabilities than they do. So sometimes that leans maybe a little our way, we'll go over and put on guardrail, like if the guardrail get hit. I know we've put some guardrail on those, and we'll rip wrap stuff for them, and they've supplied some rock, and we've hauled it and that kind of thing, so.
A little extra water now and then.
Yeah, yeah. But, and then, the kind of a trade-off with them is when we haul, they don't get too wound up when they gotta send a blade down while we're hauling into, say, the west side of the Elm, where we gotta use their road to get there.
Sure.
And we can't pull doubles because it's a North Dakota road. So the only thing I wanted to change on there is when you get to the inspection really isn't 50-50. They're inspecting the three top ones, and we're inspecting 100% of the James Bridge, the
big one.
Yeah. And our engineers aren't real comfortable with going into a 50-50 thing, or else I already know how engineer firms are gonna work. If one reviews it, even if they stamped it, the other one's not gonna just take it at their word. They're gonna wanna review it as well. So I didn't talk to the auditor. I talked to Jeff this morning and told him that's the only thing I'm gonna change on there. So would be what my recommendation would be, is we'll change the inspection on the top three of those bridges to Dickey County, and then Brown, 100% Dickey County, and Brown is 100% responsible for the Jim River one. Because those other three, the state doesn't even have those on our inspection list. And the top one isn't even a bridge in South Dakota.
Okay.
So that would be the only thing, and like I said, I didn't talk to, I can't think of her first name, Wanda, but I talked to Jeff. I didn't want to bother her if she had to commission me. I don't mind bothering you on commission day. So if this is just a Word document originally, we can just change that and send it back. That would be my recommendation. And I told them if they want to look at it and they don't like something and want to have a further discussion, that's fine with me. And I just want to reiterate, we'll be repeating this for the state as well.
Sure. Because they're a state border bridge, would they probably not qualify for the big program? All right.
No.
Okay.
Or wait a minute.
Depends on who the sponsor is.
You know, that's an interesting question that I'm gonna have to pose now, because if we're 50% responsible for the ownership of it, but it's not on our system. So, I mean, just at face value, no, it will not qualify for the big bridge program, but I think that does warrant a question. If we're gonna be 50% responsible for them, they should qualify.
At least our half.
Because I'm sitting there thinking that through, I don't know.
Yeah.
There's something legally there, though, it's worth asking the question. Now, again, like I said, the oldest one is 50 years old, and it's over the gym, and it's a 93. Yeah.
long time.
Right,
Yeah.
it'll be a long time. And the other one, I mean, even 85 and 2001, these aren't things that should be falling down anytime
Right.
soon, so.
All right, so entertain a motion to approve with the proposed changes, or change.
Yep.
Move.
Motion by Weiss, second by Dennert, any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay, motion carries.
Other than that, we're doing a little shouldering, we're still probably running around trying to clean things up a little bit. I know we had a few calls about some sanding, and we had a little discussion about that with Foreman yesterday, and this morning again. And then we our crusher came in yesterday, we'll have to get that set up, and we'll be crushing in the backyard here, starting probably next week. If anybody wants to come and feed the crusher for me, a little, something to do, you sure can. And, other than that, we're just gonna be blading, we're doing hauling a little rock still and doing some shouldering. I think we might even are we out the landfill today too? I know, but
I assume so.
I told them, Mike, don't track mud all over everything, and Mike will never let me hear the end of it, so they're gonna be at the landfill until they make a mess.
Yeah, at least we got the material.
Yep, no, and that's good that that's there too, so. But other than that, that's all I got, unless you guys got something.
Nope.
We had a question last week in public comment from some folks about a bridge on the south down there.
Is that actually in the public comment? I must have missed it.
Yeah.
So it's that one, I think, right behind.
Yep.
What is it, 68? The red
60,
one?
yeah, 68.
68. I think that's one.
It is.
My memory's slightly fuzzy, but I think that's the
No,
one
I know,
we're talking
so-
about.
So it was public comment, so if you could follow up with those folks about the status of that.
Yep. Yeah, I realize it was in public comment. I will add a little more information since we are touching on bridges a little bit.
Yeah, since we're doing updates now.
Yeah,
We can talk
we're
about it.
updating my bridge plan.
Yeah. On the fly.
So, it's interesting, because the person, I don't know who was in here, I got a good idea, and a different individual came in like an hour before you sent me that email
He came
about
into
it.
our office
Yeah, he
for a
was there.
permit, and then he brought that up.
And he brought that up, and right before that, Ray Staney had asked me about that exact same bridge. And I'll just tell you guys what I told Ray, and I haven't talked to Scott, is that right, Scott, or whoever
I don't remember his name.
the Gubin guy, but,
Gubin.
in my original plan, the bridge wasn't gonna get replaced. It's just one of them, and, you know, they made the usual arguments. If you look there behind Tyler, who's always in the way of the map, we'll get you different seats,
Couple more
you'll get
weeks.
to sit up here.
Couple more weeks.
But in that corner down there, you know, they're not lying, we've removed, there were 17 bridges and 16 miles there, so we have taken some of them out. And, this is just one that, like, some of them, you hear me say that those 6 bridges at the top of that list, I always show you that are all red, and I go, yeah, those are just, well, that one was in that category. What I told them, if it's okay with the commission, and since we're talking about it a little bit, there's another bridge that I actually put in the 5-year plan, and I talked about it out here. Just let me know. That was in the same boat. That's one that slid off the cab, and it went from like a 15-ton bridge to a 3-ton bridge all of a sudden. So, what I told them is, I guess I don't, at this point, because of the type of structures that are in the big bridge program, and I don't mean from Brown County, because this is one of those, and I'll just, it's not something that I intended to replace unless something changed. Now, I will say, I think something is gonna change there because of what the individual wants to do with the property. You know, I go, well, if it's okay with the commission, I wanna put both of them, and we're not doing it today, by the way, but I wanted to put both of those bridges into the snail program, put them in the big bridge program, because the only downfall, they'll test very, very well, they'll score very well with the exception of the traffic count. But I don't know if you've heard me rant about that, I'm not a fan of replacing 3, 4, or 5-ton bridges, because if they were important enough, they shouldn't have got to be a 3, 4, 5-ton bridge. Now, in this particular instance, you may actually have a change in the use of the land. And I also know that they're using the 3-ton bridge now to take whatever over. So, my plan, as I told them, I go, it's probably gonna take you, the one up there is already in the 5-year plan, but if you submitted the application for the engineering, and I'm talking running everything through the program where all we're paying is matches. We're not, this won't be anything outside of the match. The one up there will probably take 3 or 4 years, and that one that you're talking about, because the first thing you have to do, we have to do one of two things. Either amend the 5-year plan to put that one in there between now and August so that you can apply for it in August, or you just wait and stick it in the 5-year plan when we do the meeting, but then you won't apply for the engineering grant until, 2026. So we can do it either way, and we can follow up on this, so you don't have to do, because I know I'm getting to the point where you guys are getting glassy-eyed and I'm rambling, but, we can do that, we can run it through the bridge program at, I don't even wanna guess what the cost is gonna be, but it will be at the minimal cost outside of just paying the match. So that would be my answer, but we can do it, if you guys are cool with that. The reason I keep saying it that way, it's not one that on my own I would've come in and said that, but I do think this is an application for it. I think it'll be a slow-moving deal, it'll be 5 years out, but I think you could do it and it wouldn't cost you a whole boatload.
Sure.
So.
But we know that the circumstances are evolving constantly on that, and it takes time for that, but just, I wanted to bring that up because, you know, we are responsive to the citizens, and so are you as well. And, you know, people have different focuses, different needs. So I had a comment yesterday, which is not uncommon, whether it's bridges or vacating roads and things like that, and I'm sure I'm gonna get more on Thursday night when I spend some time with some of the sportsmen, since it's hunting season. They wanna have, you know, a mile line
Right.
road for hunting, you know, and, you know, that's a consideration, but, you know, bigger considerations for us is traveling public and farm-to-market roads and things like that. So, point is, we do take those things into consideration and try and balance the resources we have, and you do a very good job of doing that. We're not afraid to talk about it and make those decisions as the circumstances evolve to meet the needs as best we can, so.
The thing that I run into with our system, and this is a bit of a big picture esoteric comment, is I always, whenever I drive through Sturgis, and it's not the rally, or like in November, go drive through Sturgis, it's like, what kind of economic free fall has this town been in? Because it looks like it's frickin' ghost town, because it's overbuilt for 2-3 weeks out of the year. Our system's the same way. I mean, we have to be able to handle this frickin' obnoxious amount of truck traffic in a 1-month period. And then the rest of the year, you don't need 400 mile, well, I don't want to get mad at me, but, you know, the system's overbuilt on your day-to-day stuff.
It's not just our roads, it's the water system and everything else
Yep.
too for peaks like that.
Yep, exactly. And
that's, you know.
you try to figure out where that level is that you can afford and try to capture most of the...
And balance it, but, you know, like I said, the point is, you know, we're not afraid to talk about it, evaluate it, and...
And like I said, we can sure do it. There's a program for those, and so...
Yeah, so,
All right.
anyway, thanks for the
You bet.
conversation about it, the consideration.
Thank you.
You staying awake through the
Oh, yeah,
meeting
I was
and
just kinda
everything?
looking at your little, circles up there.
Yep.
There's quite a few red circles.
Not too bad. I think we're, I would, like I say, I always want to put us up against anybody else. We're in pretty good shape. And there's a few of them that are, there's 3 of them that aren't there anymore.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but to point that out, Doug, a lot of them, that's why they're red. I mean, they aren't ones that I really had a plan to do something with.
They're not real important, in other words.
Well, it's important to the people that are there. Very important.
Well, I understand that.
But, like, when you look at the scope of the whole thing, that's why we put money into the roads that don't get load limits on them first, you know, and now we're running around trying to patch the other stuff, so.
Right.
You're not trying to put load limits on right now, are you?
I'm thinking about it, Joe. It's gonna be, it was cold for a couple days, now it's getting warm again, I don't know.
That maybe after today, we'd be having a conversation
And
about
it had
it.
been flooded for a while. Let's put it
Yeah.
that way.
No, so far so good.
Let's not get that rumor started.
All right.
That's all right.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
You bet. Thank you, guys.
Next up, approve and authorize chairman to sign the union contract. That was in the packet. Sure you all read through it.
Move.
Motion by Weiss. Second by Gage. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Moving on to the consent calendar. Lynn.
Approval of the general meeting minutes of November 26th.
Move. Second.
Motion by Dennert, second by Weiss. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries.
Claims and payroll.
Move. Second.
Motion by Feldon, second by Weiss. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries.
HR report.
Move. Second.
Motion by Dennert, second by Weiss. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries.
Abatement or refund.
Move. Second. Third.
Now, let's see, motion by Feldheim, second by Gage, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay, motion carries.
Approve publication for vacating plat. First off, the Reese Treby addition plat.
This is the advertisement?
Yes.
Do the advertisement. Second.
Okay, motion by Gage, second by Weiss, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay, motion carries.
And Old Crow addition plat.
That's to be on the 31st, is that what
Yep.
that was? Second. Move. Second.
Motion by Weiss, second by Dennert. Any discussion on that one? I guess I had a question, there was a question whether the way it's written, if it includes the right-of-way, if we want to review that prior to taking any action, so, can we have that discussion? Ross?
Have you had discussion with anybody on that?
As far as if I own right away or not?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I got proof right here.
Okay, because we've had some discussion, I guess I'll lead off on that. Vacating that right-of-way was dedicated for public use in the original plat when it went to 3 parcels. And there's some question about, both the process as well as, since that was dedicated for public use, if that's the proper process, and whether it should be taken back or left to be dedicated for that purpose.
Well, my whole deal with this is I had plans for that property, and that's why I split it up into 3 different pieces of property. I was in discussion with some people, and I had water and sewer and everything all lined up, and I had a building to be built, and we had plans, and I had partners, investors, and that's why I split it up into that property. All right, all of a sudden, after all the promises and everything else, of course, at that time, I don't know if it was in writing at that time, but it was in writing at the end with some permits and stuff like that, and then I got my services yanked away from me. So then, I lost my 2 investors that were going to partner up with me on building this building for a business that's here in town right now, that plans on staying in town for quite a while, and they do millions of dollars of business. That was taken from me. So now, since I lost my investors, I don't have money to do it myself, and we also lost the project to another location. I want my property to go back to the way it was, the way I was paying taxes on it before.
Okay. I guess the question is, when it was platted that way, it was dedicated for public use. It's been developed. I don't know if you put the money into developing that, but there's a large approach. There is an access easement that's being used by another commercial business as well as...
Where's the easement?
Well, it's the dotted lines that's on the original plat, and they're superimposed underneath the current plat.
Okay.
If I'm not mistaken.
Well, I got a copy of the plat that's now and the plat of when I platted it. And it was mine when I platted it. And then, like I said, I wouldn't have done that if I would have had my utilities. But I took my utilities away.
I got copies of that too.
I got it right here. There we go. Okay, I platted Ronnie's Way, and I also paid taxes on Ronnie's Way, and I own that. Okay, now, what I did was, let's see, where is it?
I'll catch you
You
before you
planted
go.
it from Old Crow.
Yep, here we go.
From Ronnie's Way to Old Crow.
From Ronnie's Way to Old Crow, and here it is, right here. And that's what I dedicated, okay?
Right.
All
And
right.
you've got this broken up line that goes across here, that's from the original plat as well, as an access easement for another party.
No, that was never in place. I talked to their lawyer for Twin City Fan, and the lawyer that was in Minneapolis and the lawyer that was in Sioux Falls, and they both agreed that that road is mine. I bought that from Ron Wagner, who bought that from the Cutlers, and the Cutlers paid taxes on that. Wagner transferred it over to his name. He paid taxes on it. I bought it. I paid taxes on it. I'm the one that maintains it. I'm the one that sprays the weeds. If you look at what they've got, what they say they've got for an easement, what are they doing on the road? They've never ever once graded it. They've never ever once put gravel on.
They're not responsible to do that. The access easement is for access, not maintenance.
Well,
And
then.
I'm not trying to be argumentative here.
No, that's fine. I got no problem with that, and I want what's right. I don't know if you were at the meeting the other evening downstairs. I don't expect fire trucks. I don't expect ambulances and stuff like that to not be able to use it. If Dwayne's having a heart attack out there and he's walking his dog or whatever, you come on across any of my property. I don't care.
Okay, well, I'm just saying, you know, when you did this, and I apologize, and I don't think the county had anything to do with this not being
No.
able to be done with, for you.
No, they didn't.
And I appreciate that, but I think for the greater good, the bigger picture, you've dedicated this easement for use, for access. And since this plat was put into place, you have not been paying taxes on that, which is fine.
Because of what the city already promised me, as far as the utilities go.
Okay,
All
but
right?
we've got no control over that, but this
I
was-
understand that.
As a result of that, this was dedicated as an easement for a road,
Okay.
for Old Crow. And I think for the greater good, it would be best behoove us for that to stay that way,
Well,
as a public road easement. And I'm more than happy to have this put back together minus that easement.
well, then who's gonna pay for that acre and a half?
You've already given that away.
I'm gonna have to consult the lawyer, so I'd like to table this.
That's okay, that's fine. Well, we're talking about right now, just putting it on the
Yeah,
calendar.
that's fine. You
for
can put it on the
31st.
calendar, you can put it on the calendar, but I'm not gonna,
Yeah.
as far as the rest of it goes.
No, I'm not trying you,
Oh, no, that's
for you to
okay.
be disadvantaged,
Oh,
I'm
no.
just looking at the greater good. And as a developer, that's common practice. When developments get done, there are easements that are dedicated for public access for roads, and usually they are dedicated for that purpose. And that's what
Let me
happens.
ask you this here, though, if it's dedicated, and it's, I'll dedicate this if you give me this, isn't that kind of the same thing?
No.
That's what happened. That's what happened. It's not just the one time, it's more than
Right,
once, we all know that.
But there's developments when they get done, you know, that, depending on the circumstances, whether it's voluntarily or it's part of the development plan, where it's not only just public easement, it's also for drainage, holding pond areas, for parks, and those kind of things.
And getting to the drainage area and stuff like that, like, they do have this platted, or whatever, platted for their own use, okay?
Mm-hmm.
All right, do you know that that's supposed to be maintained too? That the dirt and stuff on top of that's supposed to be maintained? That's not being maintained. There's a manhole cover on top of that right down by the creek that was probably never even put on there until after I bought it.
I understand and agree,
You know.
but we didn't do that.
No, I understand that. I
Yep.
understand that. I'm
So-
voicing my opinion though.
Yep.
Just so you know, that's why I
Right.
want to go back to the way it was, that, so that I can maintain it and take care of it and control that,
Okay.
piece of property.
And I'm simply stating that fact that I think for the greater good, since that easement was given, if you will, for public access, and it's been developed, had been previously to that, there's a huge approach there, probably bigger than it ought to be, but that's fine. And then this whole thing that goes all the way down here, that since it's been dedicated, it should stay dedicated for that reason. And that's
Okay.
just my position.
No problem.
And that, you know, I'm perfectly fine putting this back. This is a buried easement for this drainage pipe, and then adjacent to it is a surface drainage way that goes across there, so, you know, I'm not trying to put you at a disadvantage.
Okay, now,
I'm
okay.
looking at the bigger picture of the whole situation here and future development, you know, within our lifetime or not, I don't know. but you're doing the same thing. You're future looking and saying, you know, this is where we should go with this, and I'm simply saying, you know, not to put you at a disadvantage, but that's been dedicated as a public right of way,
Okay.
I'd like it to stay that way.
Okay, and I respect your opinion, but I also bought that property, and now let me ask you a question. When you buy something, if you're an investor, do you buy it to lose money?
No?
Okay.
No.
That's all, that's good. That's all I wanted, that's all the answer I wanted. I will, if you will, just go ahead and put it on the record, and we'll, or on the, you know, for publication, that's fine. I'll be back, when that's
And one thing.
All right.
Go ahead,
Real
Mike.
quick. So my question is, I think when we were down in that meeting, and what was said is there wasn't taxes being, and whatever, there wasn't taxes, you were paying taxes on that piece.
Mhm.
So I think technically then that, at that point, that would have fell into a private roadway, right, as far as what,
Well, the plat dedicates it for public access, so the question here is that a public right-of-way?
well, I think when he's not paying taxes on it, technically
And
that would be a
that's part of the
public.
argument.
So, what the argument was, is that the correct process, doing it this way, or what I feel, maybe the process is actually vacating it like you would a township road, because it would be in the township, you'd have to go to the township to vacate that, much like they've done in other ones, because it would be, it's in the county, but it falls into, I think, Aberdeen Township there. So, it wouldn't be,
No, not in this case.
that wouldn't be
The
Aberdeen
state
Township?
statute allows the right-of-way to be vacated along with the 3 lots. There hasn't been any development on either side where they need that access.
And that's
That's in the state statute.
And that's the other thing too, you know, I totally understand that if somebody else needs access to that property, that's fine, but everybody else that's out there has access from other locations. There's nobody landlocked there.
Right.
There's nobody landlocked.
Well.
The only one that's really locked right now is out sewer and water, and that's me.
Right.
You know?
But I would like to see.
That wasn't because of you guys, of course.
Yeah.
And my only concern is if we're gonna publish it, I wanna make sure we're publishing accurate information. So that if we have the ability, the way it's written now, we're vacating the plat, which includes the right-of-way. And if we don't have the right to do that, I wanna make sure it gets changed before we publish it. So what we're publishing is what's gonna happen. Ross, is that?
What's gonna be voted on, that doesn't mean it's gonna happen.
Right.
Right.
But it'd be best to me to publish what is accurate.
Well.
If it needs to be
yeah.
changed, let's change it before we publish it, is my point.
Well, then it sounds like it's gonna be a negotiation possibly,
Yeah.
because as it stands, I think it should stay right away, and it's not because I'm trying to put you at a disadvantage. I think just for the greater good of things, since it's already been dedicated, and it's been in the public domain.
I totally understand that, but it was dedicated for
your
reasons.
purpose, for your purpose.
Yes, for reasons.
And I'm okay with that.
You know, but I mean, the whole thing is, you can't treat one person different than another person. I'm not saying that you do, but I've been treated
Right.
differently.
But
And
I
have
don't
been.
think we did
No,
that.
not at all, not at all.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that, but what I'm saying is if this would've happened, if I would've known this was gonna happen, that they sit there and they dangle a carrot, whether that's full of water and dangle a sewer system that's, that's empty, of course,
Yeah.
no problem, use my road. But then all of a sudden you yank it away after I give you, no, that's not right.
Yeah.
That is not right.
But we didn't have anything to do with that.
No, but that is not right, just so you know, and that's why I want it back.
Okay.
And it should go back to me, for the simple fact is, I owned it and I paid taxes on it first. So it should go back to the way it was, if they're gonna take their stuff back.
Okay, but my understanding is that hasn't had taxes paid on it since it was replatted in 22. That right away.
I don't know when I platted it, but I platted it at the time that they gave me permission
Right.
for the water and the sewer, and that's why I did it that way.
Okay, but all we know is, and all we're responsible for is it was platted as a dedicated right of way.
Okay.
And I'm of the position that it probably should stay that way. And all
Okay.
the rest of it, I understand your frustration.
No, that's fine, but no, just so that's you, as one person. Okay,
Yeah.
and we've got other people in here that can vote too.
Exactly.
And I got no problem with that, whatever I'll leave it in your hands, I got no problem with that.
Yeah.
My problem is, I just want you to understand where I'm coming from, and I was not treated fairly to the city of Aberdeen. Everybody here knows it. Let's just face it, that's my opinion. I know that's maybe not be yours, and I'm not saying that you got one on that, but, that's it.
No, but aside from that, and, I'm no expert, but I did do planning and zoning for 20 years, and I tried to learn and understand and have a bigger picture about, where things could, and should be for, future development going on with, a whole bunch of different examples and stuff. And once we have that right of way, and at some point in time, it's gonna be in the public's best interest, And since the public already has that dedicated, I think we should retain that. And that's not to put you at a disadvantage, and I understand your frustration.
That's totally your opinion, that's totally your opinion, I got no problem with that, and I respect that, Mike.
I
No
appreciate
problem.
that, thank you.
You betcha.
I just wanted to make sure you understood, you know, on the front end.
I got no problem with you or anybody else on this board. I just want what's right, and I wanted you to hear me out. I got a lot more on here to bring.
Yeah.
You know, and
So-
if I got it, I guess I'll bring counsel next time, because I'm a guy that graduated 59th out of 62, and the other 3 went special education. So I know how to put cheese on stuff and mop the floor, and that's all I know how to do. So, I guess I'll have to get somebody that understands a little bit more.
So this gets published next week, and then the 31st of December is the discussion and hearing. Okay.
Yep. But
The
just-
31st of December.
So today we need, Ross, I thought with what you had responded in that,
You can take the
Email.
position that that's a public highway, and you can take the position that it's not. And I think that's what needs to get sorted out at the hearing.
And how do we accomplish that? It doesn't sound like there's a clear road to that.
Okay,
That's
so-
the fact finder.
Takes a consensus of
One
where
of the
we're
things
on it.
that plat, that you're not gonna vacate that plat because it vacates the public right of way, you can do that.
okay, I misunderstood, because I thought you were saying that it wasn't the proper way to actually
It all hinges on
vacate
whether
it.
that's a public right of way or not. And there's arguments on both sides.
The city
Okay.
didn't accept that road, or the
Okay.
county didn't accept it, or the
Yeah.
township, so it's private maintenance on his part, so he has a,
But it's still dedicated right away.
It was dedicated, was it accepted is the question.
Right. And the implied acceptance because he's not paying taxes on it.
That's part of it, yeah.
Yeah. So,
So we'll have more discussion on the 31st. All we're doing today is, I just wanna make sure we're publishing what is accurate.
Yeah.
If it needed to be changed, now would be the time to do it so that we're publishing correct information.
I would leave it as it sits, because that's the plat that's in front of you.
Okay.
And it either gets approved or denied.
Yep.
What I would encourage in the meantime is if Mr. Gossman and the neighboring property owners want to talk about a new plat that leaves that as a public right-of-way, they might be willing to work with you on that.
I got no problem with that. Like I said, I've been saying that for the
Yep.
last 2 weeks. You know, I got no problem with that. I mean, they're already using it. I mean, shit, I was out there running my dog the other day, and here come Federal Express right down there, whipped around there, and the first thing she did was throw out her Culver's trash right there on my property. You know, it's really nice. You know, and then you go out there and you look at it. I mean, there's nobody else out there picking up trash. There's nobody else out there maintaining that road. There's nobody else out there spraying those weeds.
yeah.
You know, and I did pay the taxes on that, and I would pay the taxes on it. They come down and I pay my taxes every time, you know,
Yep.
and it's not my fault that I don't have to pay the taxes on it no more.
Yep.
I would gladly pay the taxes on it if I would've known I wasn't gonna get screwed out of my water and sewer.
Yeah.
Plain and simple.
Yeah, well, there's always unintended consequences. So
Yep. Yes, sir.
We want it
All
to
right,
work
no problem.
out
I
for you
will
as
do,
well.
yeah, I got no problem. I appreciate and respect everybody in this room. I appreciate it very much.
So,
Anything else?
I think there's more conversation to be had, and I'd encourage that to come to, some sort of a reasonable.
Yeah, I got no problem. One thing about it, I will do, and I said this the other day downstairs, I'll do a handshake deal with anybody in this room, but anybody over there, it's gonna be in writing. I don't trust them people over there, I'm done with them.
Okay.
So, just so you know, and I know that's none of your business, but I'm glad it's recorded and it's there. I hope you're watching.
All right.
All right, we have a motion
Have a good day.
and a second to approve the publication of this vacation. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries.
Am I done?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Thank you, guys.
everybody.
Thank you.
Merry Christmas to everybody.
Thank you.
You too. Appreciate the input there. Any other business come before the Brown County Commission? We've had a request to go into executive session for contracts. No personnel today.
Move.
Maybe legal, motion by Weiss, second by Gage. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries. We are in exec.
It's like a big deck up there.
All right. Light is back on. We are out of exec, back in regular session. No action as a
Spiral
result.
steel staircase, yeah, those.
When would you put on the
Me and
agenda
Drew
next
and
Tuesday
Judy all in that little thing at once.
confidential spare time, so we can take action.
You guys.
Yep, thanks, Charlie. Is there anything else to come before the Brown County Commission this morning?
Motion to adjourn.
Second. Motion by Weiss, second by Denner to adjourn. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries. We are adjourned.